All right, so if you are thinking about getting into real estate wholesaling, or maybe you've already kind of gone down that path, I'm glad that you found this video because in this video, I'm going to share with you an alternative way to basically do the same thing, but to me, have even less risk, have more people that you can help. And maybe this is something you do, in addition to wholesaling, or maybe you decide to totally pivot and go this way here. So I'm Phil Duke Jr., and I am a licensed real estate broker in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And I've done quite a bit of wholesaling myself, novations, assignment fees, assignment contracts. I've done a bunch of flips. I've bought rental properties. I've bought stuff with creative financing. I've sold stuff with creative financing. And, I've done a whole lot of just being a broker, being a licensed realtor, and just helping people, sell what they had or helping somebody buy something that they wanted to buy. And the great thing about all those ways is they're all ways that you can monetize basically the same skill set, right? To me, it's crazy to get into real estate and just be a realtor, or to get into real estate and just be a wholesaler or just be a flipper. So, one of the big problems with real estate wholesaling is that only about 4% of all real estate transactions done on an annual basis in the United States are off market deals, right? The vast majority of the deals that are actually closed are done with licensed real estate agents, right? Realtors. And even the for sale by owners, most of them don't truly sell for sale by owner. Right, what most of them want to have happen, and what happens most of the time, is a buyer agent brings a buyer, shows it to their buyer client, writes up the offer, gets it closed, and the seller pays a 3% commission instead of 6. Right. So one of the big problems with wholesaling is that you are in a narrow market. There's not that many sellers out there that really want a discounted offer that can close quickly with no repairs, with no realtor fees, with no closing costs. And there's also, getting to be less and less people out there that are flipping and becoming landlords, right? Tons of videos online you can find where a lot of people have said, you know what, I'd be better off putting my money in the stock market than putting my money into rental properties. Just less risk, right? Can throw some money in this account and just kind of forget about it. So you certainly have an uphill climb, but there are people that need what you have. The product that you have as a wholesaler, there are people that need it. All right. There's people that want a cash offer, they want it quick. And if you know how to find somebody that can bring that kind of offer, that has the cash, that can close quickly, hey, knock yourself out. There's a lot of there are people that definitely need that. But there's also a much bigger pool of sellers out there who want top dollar, they want retail value, or they at least want, somewhere a lot closer. They're not willing to sell at 60%. They're not willing to sell at, you know, 70% of ARV minus the rehab, cost, right? You've probably familiar with those formulas. There's just a lot more sellers out there that want to get top dollar for their property. And if your only product that you have is quick discounted offers that can close quickly, you're again, you're narrowing your opportunities out there. And so what I would recommend doing instead of, or in addition to what you're doing as a wholesaler, is to start working with institutional buyers. All right, and here's what I mean by that. I personally work with a group of institutional buyers that's buying properties all over the country. You can as well. You have to have a real estate license. And in most states, all it takes to get a real estate license is, an online course and passing a multiple choice exam, having doing a background check, some pretty minimal stuff to get started. And you too can work with this same group of institutional buyers. They're buying as many houses as we can bring to them, and they like properties that are move-in ready or very close to being move-in ready, but where the seller still wants to close fairly quickly, doesn't want to deal with putting it on the open market, doesn't want to deal with realtors, doesn't want to deal with showings, but these offers are much closer to retail price. Okay. So the way that my system works, and you can actually see this thing in action if you go down below in the comments, I've got a recorded masterclass where you can actually see this thing in action. And what we do, you can do it, I can do it. My virtual assistant can do it. We put properties into the system, put in the address, put the square footage, put the bedrooms and baths, upload the photos into there. And once we've got all that stuff in there, we request offers from these institutional buyers. And within a couple hours, we normally have multiple cash offers on these properties. And we just simply present those offers to the seller. Hey, Mr. Seller, I've got you 3 offers. It's now a good time to go over it. Or let me email these to you so you can take a look at them yourself. There's all kind of ways that you can do it. I go over some of those ways inside the masterclass. And the beauty of this model is that if the institutional buyer ends up buying the property, they're putting up their own earnest money. They're paying for the inspections. They're paying for the closing costs. They're paying to rehab it. They're paying for the holding costs. And you get paid for connecting a buyer and seller, and really, really getting paid using other people's money, right? So you're still a middleman, just like you would be on a wholesale deal. The beauty of the model, though, is there's a lot more pretty move-in ready or close to move-in ready houses than there are these, near gut jobs that need to be totally gutted and totally renovated, and $50 to $100,000 in repairs. There's a lot more of these pretty houses out there, and there's a lot more sellers willing to sell at a discount, especially right now with properties sitting on the market for longer than they have in years, for properties sitting on the market sometimes 6 to 12 months without a single offer. And here you are, you've got a cash offer to bring to them, a legit cash offer with the end buyer, right? You're not the wholesaler who's telling them that you're going to give them $100,000, hoping you can find somebody that will give you 120 for it. You've actually got an end buyer with a written cash offer already in place the first time you talk to the seller. Okay. So, it's one more way, or maybe it's a new way, or maybe it's an alternative, or maybe it's just one more thing that you do. The beauty of this model, what I like about doing business this way, is it allows me to kind of do my same lead generation I'm already doing. I've got this product that I can offer them. If a seller wants a quick cash offer, I've got a legit cash offer to give them. If they really want somebody local, I can certainly wholesale it. I can find somebody to assign that contract to. I can still make money that way. I can still buy the property myself if I want to. If I want to buy it as a flip, buy it as a rental property, I can still do that. Or I can also offer to them of, hey, like, we've got these cash offers over here. Why don't we try putting your house on the open market, and let's see what we can get that way. And I can get a commission check for being a listing agent, right? So I think it just makes sense if you're going to be going after sellers and you're going to be presenting them with offers. It makes a whole lot of sense to me to have a bunch of different ways that you could help a seller instead of just having one, right? And what you're going to see is when you have more than one option available, you can take the same amount of leads you already have and you can monetize more of them, because now you're not just offering one product to every single seller. So again, hopefully, hopefully this video helped you. Luckily for you, maybe you found this video at the right time in your career. And check out that masterclass down at the link below, and my calendar link is below as well. You can always schedule a one-on-one call if you need some more help. Thanks for checking out today's video.